I had a grand uncle who was an Australian soldier, and he was there on the 24th of April in the boats awaiting that suicidal landing. And it wasn't long before he was killed by a Turkish sniper. And that was 100 years ago. Why should there be any difference in remembering him and remembering the victims of the Armenian Genocide 100 years ago? And I believe that his death, sad though it was, is not memorable in the sense that he volunteered to fight. He was lawfully killed by a Turk defending his own land from an invasion. Fine, I mean, that's war. But the Armenians died differently. They were victims of a crime, not just an ordinary crime, but a crime against humanity, the worst crime against humanity, genocide. And that calls for recognition, because denial, in a sense, is the last phase of genocide. I wrote this book, An Inconvenient Genocide, because I was concerned at the dishonest way the British government, for fear of alienating Turkey, was saying that the evidence wasn't sufficiently unequivocal to say it was genocide. I looked at the evidence, and there was no doubt in my mind that it was genocide. I gave it the subtitle, Who Now Remembers the Armenians, because that's an extract from a speech by Adolf Hitler. He called his generals and urged them to show no mercy when they were invading Poland, because he said, who now remembers the annihilation of the Armenians? In other words, you'll have impunity. You'll get away with it, no matter how brutally you act towards Polish people, Polish Jews. And I wanted that to be uppermost, because the fact that we didn't, as a world, punish the perpetrators of the Armenian genocide allowed people like Adolf Hitler to think that they would get away with mass murder. And that's something that obviously we must never do again.